The actions of George Washington's administration helped to create a strong national government. Large debts were accumulated under the Articles of Confederation and by the states during the Revolutionary War. The Washington administration, under the leadership of Alexander Hamilton, Washington's Secretary of the Treasury, decided the new federal government would assume Revolutionary War debts from the states and the Articles of Confederation. This strengthened the power of the federal government and helped provide stability and faith in the U.S. economic system. Making payments on this debt would give future investors confidence that the United States would repay future loans. Loans would not occur in the future if old debts were not repaid. These payments would also give large amounts of money to people who owned the debt, and they would be able to use the money they were receiving to reinvest in the economy. The federal government took responsibility for these debts because they were created to finance the war for independence. Individuals loaned money to the states and the federal government to defeat Great Britain. Americans believed that since these debts were created to create the nation, it was the responsibility of the federal government to repay. Taking this responsibility from the start was a way the new federal government could show it would honor its promises in the future. Federal payment of this debt would give the states an interest in the success of the federal government. Some states, especially in the South, had already begun to pay off their debts from the war, but others owed large sums of money. States that owed large sums of money would want the federal government to succeed because the federal government was paying off their debts. The assumption of state debts and old debts was a major issue in the early United States. The issue centered around which holders of the debt should be repaid. During the war, speculators bought up debt from individuals. If a farmer in Virginia loaned $100 to the state of Virginia for the war, then Virginia would repay that farmer the $100 plus $4 in interest. The farmer would be owed $104. He would be the owner of the debt. Speculators would look to buy this debt. This debt was often purchased below what was loaned. A speculator may give that farmer $25 to own the debt. The speculator would do this because he would hope that he could then turn in the bond and receive the $104 and make a huge profit. The farmer would sell this to him because he was afraid of losing all of his money. He wouldn't even get $25 back from Virginia. This angered many Americans and many in Congress. They believed that the speculators could not be paid in full or should not be paid in full because they paid so much less for the debt. Hamilton argued against repaying less than what was owed because he believed it would destroy confidence in the federal government's ability to repay its loans or obligations in the future.